In the gaming cosmos, if Monster Hunter and Skyrim decided to blend their DNA, Dragon's Dogma 2 would be their offspring. Imagine an open world so engaging, you'd seriously consider handing in your 2-week notice to dive headfirst into its fantasy realms. The combat system is so meticulously crafted, it feels like Monster Hunter's influence is everywhere. Target a monster's tail and eventually it will get chopped off and the monster behaves differently. For those used to the games that guide you along your playthrough, think again. With such an open-ended, multiple ways to doing quests, this one tosses the players on Waygun and sends you flying down a hill into a whirlwind of adventures, no hand-holding, just pure, unbridled chaos. Let's dive right into the heart of Dragon's Dogma 2, where the combat isn't just part of the game, it's the main event that'll keep you coming back for more. Picture this, with every swing, every hit, you're not just chipping away at a health bar, you're engaging in a dance of death where your skill determines the rhythm. The animations, so satisfying you can almost feel the monster's scales under your blade. And those special effects, they transform every encounter into a scene straight out of an epic fantasy blockbuster. But wait, there's more. This game throws in a dash of realism with its unique combat mechanics. Ever fancied climbing a giant ogre, finding its weak spot, and delivering vicious stabs on the back? This game makes that dream a reality. And it's not just about the glory of the climb, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the strategy behind targeting those vulnerable spots of the monsters. Then there are things like getting dragged across the battlefield by a wolf. It's not just about brute force, it's about surviving the onslaught and turning the tables on your enemies. The combat in Dragon's Dogma 2 is like savoring a gourmet burger, each bite filled with rich, complex flavors. In contrast, Diablo 4's button mashing is akin to settling for a Big Mac, consistent, familiar, but ultimately lacking the depth and satisfaction. It's the difference between a meal that delights and one that merely fills the gap. Quests are a mixed bag of fetch me this simplicity and the complexity of how the heck do I do that? It's daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's exhilarating. And monsters? They're like unwanted guests showing up at your party. One minute you're fighting goblins, the next an ogre crashes the scene followed by a giant griffin jumping on the ogre. When the situation arises like this, it is a reminiscent of that out-of-control high school party you once threw, which escalated far beyond your wildest expectations, culminating in an unexpected visit of the police next morning. The game takes a bold stance against the typical grind fest, pushing you to explore and adventure. Hidden treasures beckon and brutal nights filled with more dangerous monsters make you cherish the daylight. But don't get too comfortable. The lack of convenient travel means you're running a marathon. And your personal combat slaves called pawns, they're great, but sometimes they act like that drunk friend who gets into a bar fight while you are gone to the toilet. They will randomly fall down the cliffs and start fighting a pack of monsters and forces you to come rescue them. However, not all that glitters is gold. Dragon's Dogma 2 has some skeletons in its closet. Microtransactions loom like a dark cloud, and the game's performance can sometimes feel like it's powered by a hamster on a wheel. Save issues? There's no way to save multiple game progressions with different characters. Heck, you can't even restart your current character. The developers kept this part also similar to real life for some dumb reason. And if you fancy changing your character's appearance, be ready to pay up. This is why choosing your character is a pivotal decision. You're paying for an expensive game to embark on a singular, epic journey. It should make you sweat like the time you will or have proposed to a partner in marriage. Occasionally, expect to battle not just giant monsters, but also frame drops and camera angles that make you wonder if the cameraman is in another realm. In the end, Dragon's Dogma 2 is a mixed bag of awe-inspiring moments and frustrating quirks. It's an adventure for the bold, a tale of triumph and tribulation. So, strap in, grab your pawn, and dive into a world where every decision, every battle, and every quest writes your legend.